People will often say to me, well, it's easy for you. And, you know, I mean, I'm up at 5 in the morning. You know, I spend a lot of time getting my food ready every week. I spend a lot of time shopping for food, and I spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about my training and constantly questioning myself and what I'm doing. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's easy, but I do have somewhat of an advantage because I love training. So being in the gym is the easy part. Everything else is the hard part. I often like to think about a quote from Steve Nash, and it was in his retirement speech, where he talks about plateaus and how what's important when you hit those plateaus is not to give up, because that inevitably is going to happen. And life inevitably is going to throw roadblocks in your path to try and slow you down. And this year being a perfect example of that for everybody, where, you know, we were all quarantined for, you know, 3.5 months, in some parts of the country for 5 months. You know, the gym wasn't available to a lot of people. Fitness equipment sold out everywhere. That's a pretty major roadblock. But the important aspect there is to be patient and not give up. I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations about how fast they're going to achieve their fitness goals. And I mean, if you're, you know, like I started competing at age 47. So if you're in your mid to late 40s or early 50s and you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is something I want to do, you can definitely do it. But you need to set a realistic time span for yourself and not anticipate that after 2 weeks in the gym, you're going to be, you know, ready to start stepping on stage or anything similar. It takes time to do these things, but the time and the path to get to that end result is what makes it worthwhile. It's the goal is really the path, and the goal is to be on the path and making steps forward as much as possible. And again, life is going to throw those roadblocks up in front of you, and, you know, we stay patient, we stay positive, you remain persistent, and you either go through the roadblock or over it or around it, or eventually it's just not there anymore because circumstances change, and then you can start moving forward again. So it's never a case of, you know, I mean, I don't think unless something really, really horrific happens to somebody, there is no, you know, like bricked up tunnel on the path where it's just like, that's it, you're done. It's always a roadblock, or more often, honestly, a speed bump. So it slows you down, but it doesn't stop you. And you have to stay patient, you have to stay persistent, and you have to believe in the value of your goal. You have to believe in the value of not just the end result, but of being on the path towards that end result. Like the path is the reward itself.